Alright guys, so in this video we're checking out this SkyStars promotional box that's going to be for sale at Get FPV, and we'll show you everything that comes in this box here. It's mostly drone parts to put together a 5-inch build, which I may or may not do. I'm not sure exactly at this point. Let me know if you guys are really interested in this build down in the description or in the comments. But they did want me to show you the flight stack that's going to go in this year. This is a flight controller and ESC board. It's also part of this promotional kit, and I'll show you this in a little more detail, but I'll show you the rest of the stuff first. So put this to the side. I'll have links down in the description if you're interested in how to get this, and also the flight controller stack. And I'll explain the giveaway at the end of the video, or some point here in the video. So you get these Hurricane 51499 propellers. Get these 3D printed parts. I think this is for the 5-inch frame. This is Star-Lord 228, I think, version 2. I'll put a little photo up here what that frame looks like. So is the 3D printed parts of the frame. These motors. I'll look at those here in a second. You have the flight stack screws and accessories. So this is the accessories that go with the flight stack. So we'll look at that here later. Motor screws and accessories. This is for the motors. You get also the prop nuts as well. M3 screws. So that goes with these motors, which I'll show you this here in a little more detail here in a second. Frame. Screw and accessories. See all the mounting screws and standoffs for the frame. And here is the frame parts itself. So here are the arms. Probably typical 5-inch frame, probably 5mm arms. And these are the other carbon plates. So the sandwich plates and side plates for the camera. And here's your top and bottom plates. So this is obviously a 5-inch freestyle frame. Get these LEDs. I think these go on the arms. Again, I'm not sure if I'll be using these or not, but if you want more bling, plenty of LEDs here. And you get a whole bunch of battery straps. So you get 5 battery straps. And you get a couple antenna tubes. That probably goes into the 3D printed parts for your receiver. And this is a custom battery pad for the top plate. And another set of stickers. Alright, so in this kit you do get this nice motor. They obviously get 4 of them. 2207 1950 kV. Yeah. Obviously for a 6S setup. Pretty typical looking motor. I think those are flat magnets. Not notchy at all, pretty smooth. Well, this looks pretty standard hollow shaft, of course, steel shaft, and nice looking windings, of course. It's probably going to be just fine as a motor, and looks like we have enough motor wire here. Decent gauge size. Alright, so this is the flight stack screw and accessories. You get the gummies, you get some spacers. Looks like pretty thick wire there, 12 gauge wire for your XD60 connection, and you have, looks like a 560 microfarad 35 volt capacitor there. So not super huge, but it should be fine for 6S. I don't know. 6S 35 volts might be a little low. And here's the stack itself. Okay, so here are the parts for the stack itself. So we'll take a look at the ESC first. 30 by 30. You can see here M4 holes, and that's why you need the gummies. 32 bit ESC, 3 to 6S, 16 up. The model is the KM60A. Nice, really nice big heatsink here, and I'm not going to remove that, but you can see there's a current sensor shunt there. Probably typical 32 bit ESC, nothing too special. Got a little bit of conformal coating on the bottom, so that's probably going to be good for moisture. So you get a wiring loom connector there, and they do include those wiring looms here in the accessory pack. You can see those right there. Goes between the ESC and the flight controller. And you can see the order that the wires come out. So you have your typical 4 motor connections, battery voltage, ground, and current sensor, and ESC telemetry there. And then if you don't want to use the connector, you have all these same pads here, so you can solder to. They're kind of tiny though. But if you'd rather solder, that's you can definitely do that. You have pads on the bottom here for the motor wires, or you can do them on the top or on the side. So plenty of options there, and nice little holes there for the capacitor, so it'll be easy to solder that up. And then of course your wires for the XT60. Alright, so here's a look at the flight controller. So it looks like this is an F7, it's an F722. So this will have 6 full UARTs, and looks like it's, yeah, micro USB, not USB-C. It has 2 voltage regulators on here. I think it's a 5 volt and a 10 volts. So we see here the SkyStars 722 F722 DJI. So this is kind of geared towards DJI. Actually, this whole build is kind of geared towards DJI. And you have, I think it's this connector, or is it this one here? No, yeah, it's this one over here. This one here is the dedicated DJI connector. So you can see the 6 pins. You have S bus ground. You have your MSP connection there on that UART. So it's RX6, TX6 for the, either Vista or the DJI Air unit, and then you have ground and 10 volts out. So that one of those voltage regulators sends 10 volts to either your Air unit or to your Vista. So obviously that's what you need for an Air unit, because the Air unit can only go up to 4S, and this setup here is going up to 6S. So pretty standard stuff here on the board. Chip, you got your main MCU chip here, you got a black box chip there, OSD chip on the bottom, and this looks like it's an MPU 6000 gyro, and lots of, well, they're not labeled on the bottom, but you can solder either to the bottom here or to the top, and they're all nicely labeled on the top, so they're pretty self-explanatory. Interesting curves here on the sides, and while they're not biting into the solder pads here on these sides, on the bottom here and the top, you can see the solder pads are cut into as part of this sort of the way they're doing this. So the pads are, they start off big here, and then they're half the size over here, so may present some issues with your soldering, but like all this is, all these are, I think, coordinated to this connector here, so most people will probably just use the connector. Alright, so I'm sure people are curious how much this stuff weighs. Just the boards for the 60 amp, you see it's 16.1 grams, and then the flight controller, just 6.1 grams. Okay, so as part of this video, and as a part of this giveaway, SkyStars will send a lucky winner one set of the flight controller only, not the whole box here, just the flight controller. So I'll have links to the box and the different parts here, the flight controller set, and also the individual flight controller and AC. Links will be down all in the description if you want to check out more specs and details on these. But if you're just here for the giveaway, this is what you need to do. You need to follow the directions down in the description, so make sure you read those. I may include an additional condition or two that I'm not mentioning here, but basically, one comment and one comment only. You need to be publicly subscribed to my channel. So if you don't know what that means, please Google that, because a lot of people don't know what that is, or don't change their settings, and they end the giveaway and end up being disqualified because I can't determine if they're a subscriber or not. And please be aware that this is a giveaway sponsored by SkyStars, and they will be shipping the prize from, I think, probably from China or Hong Kong, somewhere like that. And I'm not responsible for any shipping delays or shipping problems, because they're the ones that are going to be handling the actual giveaway. I'm just picking the winner. I think that's it. So I'm not exactly sure what the giveaway period will be. I'll figure that out when I'm editing the video. So make sure you're reading the rules down in the description so you know when this contest ends. So many people don't read the rules, and I get people entering giveaways 6 months after the video's been released, so it's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, read the rules down in the description. Again, links to all this stuff also down in the description as well. And if you have any questions about this stuff, let me know. And if you want to know, if you want me to actually make this build, let me know also in your comment entry. I'm curious to know how many people are interested in another 5-inch build. There's so many of them out there, and I've done a ton of those as well. So if you want to see yet another build, let me know down in your comment entry. That's going to do it for this video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.